Flosstube, it is Helen D. Welcome to my empty walls, which means it's time for another unboxing. I just put all of my Christmas things away, so now I'm pulling out my winter things. I usually take those out after Christmas, beginning of the new year, and I leave them out through March or whenever I get sick of winter things and decide to put out spring things. So it depends. As always with these unboxings or FFO parades, I will list everything below in the order in which I show it, because sometimes I can't remember the details, or I remember the details incorrectly. It goes both ways. So we will launch in. It's funny, I was pulling through and I'm like, oh, I have less stuff in this one, which I do, but I have more framed things, I feel like, that will fill up some space on my shelves. So I'm going to show you some of the framed things first, because they're always the biggest and they take up the most space and I need to get them out of the way. And Emmy is taking a ginormous drink, so if you hear anything, it's just her. One of the framed things I have is Frosty Forest. This is by Cottage Needleworks. It's a series of 9 charts, although my middle house is not the given chart. I had seen a couple other people on different Facebook groups do their own kind of center blocks, so that's what I did. I used a different house from Country Cottage and kind of made it fit, right? The snow kind of, it matches. I know I stitched this on Picture This Plus Dwarf, which is one of my favorite blues. The white really shows. And I made this little border just to kind of tie it all together. So this one is framed. I hang this one up, and this one has glass in it. So let me be careful with this one. I think I only have one other one that has glass in it. Okay. The other large one, that is Perilous. This one was one I finally finished last year. I called this the wrong thing, which now I can't even remember what I called it. Its official name is Evergreen Sampler. It's from a cross-stitch Christmas book that is very hard to find. It's from 2013, and it's a cross-stitch Christmas handmade memories. It's by Craftways. Sometimes it pops up on eBay or one of the D-Stash sites. That's the only place this chart is available. I reached out to Kluba of Rosewood and asked if this is one that she could re-release, because sometimes once they've been in those books, after a certain amount of time, they can re-release them. She doesn't even have this chart anymore, so she can't. However, a lot of the animals and the trees and things in this are the same as what is in And a Forest Grew. That is a much larger chart, but you could take that chart and place them so that you made your own. The other difference is this one has all these little birds and things that are 1/1. And a Forest Grew does not, so you wouldn't have to deal with that. So mine is huge because of all those 1/1s. This was my first time using a Lugana to do that. So I chose to do mine on a 25 count Lugana to make it easier on myself, which makes it nice and big, which is nice. Sometimes it's nice to have a couple of kind of standout pieces. Okay, this next frame one has a story. I did not stitch this. I know that this is a Charlie Harper piece. It also has glass. I believe it's called Brrrrdbath. I found this at Goodwill. We were going in, my son and I have had this for a long time. It's fully framed with the nice glass, triple mats. It was $8, and I was like, yes. Get up to pay for it, and it happened to be, at that time, they were doing like it was a Sunday, and they had a Sunday color, and everything that color was $1. So I got this for $1, and I put it out every year. I love it. To me, it's a winter piece because those little beads look like snow, and there's snow on the leaves, and I need winter pieces. So that's when I put it out. All right, let me set that one down. The rest of them shouldn't be too bad of an issue. I have 2 more framed things. This is from Cottage Garden Sampling, the Fox. This was from her Year in the Woods series. I did take out, there was a little house here, and I took that out and I just added snowflakes instead so that it would just be the fox and the woods. I don't remember, honestly, if I used called for colors. I may have switched the colors up on the trees to a variegated. I can't tell. So there's the fox. And he fits right in an 8x10. And my last framed, this is also an out of print, although fingers crossed it will come back at some point. This one I talked about last year. This frame I wish was darker. I know I could paint it, I just haven't gotten around to it. This is Winter Wonderland from Blackbird Designs. And I did do a color conversion of this piece because it had a lot of reds in it. And I'm not into a lot of reds. So I changed it to have more blues. I love all the animals. I stitched it in 2022. So that is Winter Wonderland. One of these days I will paint this to be like a dark blue. Boop. All right. Everything else is in my laundry basket. The winter stuff and the Christmas stuff shares a tote. So I put all the Christmas stuff back in and took the winter stuff out and put it in the laundry basket. So, just reaching from the top. This piece is from Hands On Design. This was originally in one of those keepsakes calendars. And she did this one before she did her whole series, the Let's Talk or Chalk Talk series. I believe you can still get this one at Hirschners.com as a PDF. But she does now also have a winter version of her Chalk Talk series. So if you can't get it on Hirschners, you can still get one that's similar. And I'm sure I did that one in the colorful colors. This is a Prairie Schooler button up. I have a little piece that this sets in. I did this on, it's a luminous fiber arts fabric. It might be Snow Days or light denim. I'm not sure. It's a light grayish blue. This one is charted as 3x3, but I knew I had that piece before I started it. So I made it 4x4 and I just didn't do 2 of them, right? Or maybe just 1. I didn't do 1. So this one goes out at winter time. I've seen people do this too without the reds and with blues, and it's really pretty, but I had already started it at that point. This is a Heart and Hand. I never remember the name of these, and she has a whole series. So I will list it down below. But it's Heart and Hand, and it has some Jabco buttons. This one I, for a long time, was magneting it onto this big snowman, but that got to, it was big. So now that I have different shelves and stuff up, I just use it as like a little shelf sitter. And I like having something tall on those shelves to give it just some variation and some height. This is an old Bent Creek winter signpost. I stitched these when I was first getting back into stitching and discovered all the fun charts and hand-dyed threads and all of that, and I made one for me and one for my mom and possibly one for Donna. I don't remember. And it's on a piece of wood that I Mod Podged some paper on. I haven't sewed up the corners. Like, this was an original finish. There's no trim. I clip it on a little picture frame. This one is another Prairie Schooler. This is from Prairie Seasons. I believe I've done all the seasons except summer. I know I changed all the colors on this. I made the house, I don't know what color it was, but I know that's not the called for blue. And then originally, I think there's like a moon on one side. And I just flipped the deer so that I could have the deer on both sides. And this one I have a frame that it just magnets onto. This is another, I believe, Heart and Hand. I think it's called ABCs of Snow. I remember at the time this was hard to find. I don't know currently if it still is. I have a stand that this magnets onto. There's that one. This is another cube finish. I have a Christmas one of these that I showed, and this was in a magazine, one of the British magazines. I had a subscription to those like in 2016, so that's probably where it came from. It's Emma Congdon of Stitchrovia, but I don't really know. I haven't seen it like on her website or anything. So I set that one out. Got a few smalls in here. There goes Emmy. This one is from Hands On Design and Priscilla Blaine. It was the small that went with something larger, so I'll list it below. I liked the small, I never did the bigger one. I finished this with 3 different panels of fabric from a matching fabric line and used one on the back. And it has twill tape and a little snowflake. This one was a gift. Cookie sent this to me, a viewer, last year. It's so cute. Actually 2022. 2021, there's a charm on it. It's this sweet little snowman with a stitched, I think she said it was from a magazine. He's super cute and he's so soft. So I put that out with my smalls. This is Heart and Hand Winter, I think they were called Whirligig, Winter Whirligig. You can see I stitch a lot of winter on blue. And they have cat hair on them. So this one I have a little pedestal that I set it on. It's just a round. This one usually is behind me, though this year I might put that Evergreen sampler behind me. This is from the 2016 Just Cross Stitch. It's hands-on design based on Priscilla Blaine, and I've done all 4 seasons. This was the one I started with. This one actually might be in the 2015 winter edition. You can get the back issues online. They're sold by Annie's Crafts. I'll put a link below because you can get those still online. This is Bent Creek Winter Row. These have a button pack, but I didn't use it. I just did the stitching. And then I remembered finally how many of these I've been doing. Here's the board I have. Although when I was taking Christmas off, I replaced one of the magnets and it's like a super magnet, and it came unglued. So I have this board and I just pop this on there and center it up. And that's how I do, I have one of these for each season. So that's how I display them, and then I just put it in a little easel. This was also a gift. My friend Cheryl got me this. I believe this is from Under the Woolen Willow, and it's embroidered. It's this cute little snow pillow, so that goes with my smalls. I need more winter smalls. And then I have 3 berries. These are all from Erica Michaels' Winter Berries pamphlet. Let It Snow with the fun cardinal. Warm Woolly Winter. I used one of my mom's crocheted snowflakes on that one. And then this one is just called Winter. It was charted to be white on blue, but I did mine like a purpley blue on white. It just seemed easier. And then I have those and a little charm that dangles. So these all go together. All 3 of those. And that's it. I do have in my plans for 2024 a couple of more winter pieces, and I probably should add some winter smalls. And I'm really hoping that Heart and Hand does a winter tiny town. I'm sure that she will at some point. So when she does, I will stitch that up to put on my basket so then I can put my smalls in that. That's it. I'll list everything below. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.